The next in series with regard to courtesy was being thoughtful and appreciative, and we were talking about the goodwill. And goodwill is something, whether it's earned by a company or as an individual, that it is the most valuable intangible asset. It cannot be quantified in rupees, but its worth itself cannot be quantified. So please keep that in mind. And since we are in Asia, and most of us, the business of industry, the organization deals with other Asians, we are people who like soft language and a polite approach. You might have seen Japanese and Chinese, they are always bowing to each other. And if you study the cultures, extremely courteous. So we need to keep this in mind, that at least when we are interacting with people from such cultures where courtesy is given a very high value, at least we practice courtesy with them. What are respectful expressions? Okay. Remove irritating expressions from your communication, especially when used with you or your. Now, what does this mean? It means blaming someone and pointing out a flaw. And there are many expressions here for your understanding. I do not agree with you. If you care, I'm sure you must realize now you are irresponsible, you are obnoxious. Here, what do we need to do? How do we avoid all these direct expressions? We use passive voice. And that is why in communication, you're always told that generally you use active voice, but in these situations, to make your phrasing respectful and not to offend the receiver of your message, we use passive voice in which you is removed. The subject in a passive voice sentence is removed. I do understand that we all our lives we've been taught in schools and colleges that the mouse was killed by the cat, but that was only to teach us the structure of the passive voice. In practical use, we do not say the mouse was killed by the cat, because if we know who killed the mouse, then we will use an active voice sentence. The cat killed the mouse. So we use passive voice so as to remove the subject from the sentence, and the sentence will become then, the mouse was killed. Similarly, here, where mentioning the subject will make your expression disrespectful, we remove the you, and therefore the finger that you point out by saying you is retracted, and the expression becomes softer and therefore respectful. So, what are some other ways? Remove questionable humor. Don't use humor with people, first of all, whom you do not know well. Who knows? It could be actually disgusting for them. And everybody's sense of humor differs. So using humor in communication especially should only be done when you are thoroughly familiar with your audience and you know that the humor will actually improve the quality of the communication. You must have seen a lot of public speakers use a lot of humor, but the humor is not directed towards their audience. It's directed towards a third person, and most of the times it is directed towards themselves. So, using humor in communication is an art itself, and I would not suggest students, especially of your level, using humor randomly and unsparingly. When in doubt about how is the audience or your receiver going to respond to you.